बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मैं हूं आपकी मेज़बान मरियम शबीर। आप देख रहे हैं प्रोग्राम हम और हमारा माहौल। Today we have with us what I should say is the real champion of environment and climate change, because he is very vocal on climate change and environmental issues in Pakistan. We have with us His Excellency Mr. Martin Kobler. He is German ambassador to Pakistan. Thank you very much for joining us. He has been serving in India, Egypt, Afghanistan, Germany of course, and many other countries as well. The list might go on. And now he is in Pakistan. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for giving us time. We followed that you got a lot of fan following when water crisis issue emerged on social media, and you were the one who were telling audience that what can be the possible way at individual level to conserve water. We see that Pakistani government is trying really hard to conserve water and to save it. We have water crisis issue, and research shows that as well. So in your opinion, what is the best possible way to conserve water when it comes to individual habits, and how important it is?
Well, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody, and both of us, I think, hope that the new year 2019 will be also a year of the environment. Because wherever we go, we see environmental hazards, we see garbage, we see a lot of plastic pollutions, and we see, as you say, water scarcity. In the south, in Balochistan, in Thar Desert, so things are pretty dramatic and the water levels are going down. So how to save water, this is really one of the major points. And I think every thing starts with the individual. It does not start with asking the government, listen, do something, we have to save water. No, every individual is responsible for his and her own behavior in the environmental field. So to save water, with everything we do we really have to stand under a shower for 15 minutes or so, or is 2 or 3 minutes maybe enough? Once I tweeted something, even to let the water run during toothbrushing. Is this necessary? Or while shaving, to let the water run? I think the individual behavior and the awareness of everybody that it's very important to take care of environment, that water is a precious good. I think this is important. But then comes the other levels. These are schools. These are target groups. These are young people. Now, and here I, in particular, would like to convey an experience we had from Germany also. This is to create awareness in the schools, because it's sometimes the young people who educate the adults. And when I was young, you see, everybody was still smoking on the street. So my father used to smoke, and he threw everything on the road. Yeah, once the cigarette is finished, he just threw it away. Until the very day I told him, listen, I learned at school that it's not really good to throw the cigarettes away to the street. One has to dispose of the cigarettes in another way. And then he thought a little bit, and then he never did it again. Now, if you do awareness raising in schools, if you educate the boys and girls at school at an early stage to be awareness, to have awareness for a clean environment, they will tell also at home their parents, and parents who in principle think this is the right thing to do, they will follow the advice of the youngers and not vice versa.
That's true. We see that individual habits contribute a lot to water conservation and other environmental commodities as well. When it comes to technological thing, what do you think that Pakistan and Germany can collaborate on technological advancement, because Germany is a way ahead when it comes to water conservation? So what is your opinion about it?
Well, it is, I think the water preservation and the taking care of the aquifers and to replenish the aquifers, there are technologies available, and it is up to the government then, if you say government-to-government cooperation, to put this on the agenda of our development cooperation. This problem is not yet on the agenda of our bilateral discussions, government to government. On the agenda, however, is reforestation, and this also has to do something with water. Now, the new government has this 10 billion tree tsunami. The KP government, already during the last government, they had this 1 billion tree tsunami. Now, so I know very well some criticize it, but the tree planting, I think this is very important for the climate as a whole and for the water question, because what Pakistan needs in parts is more rain. Sometimes once every few years you have too much rain, but you need more rain. Planting more trees sucks the CO2 out of the atmosphere, releases the O2, decreases the temperature and raises the rainfall. Now, you see, it's not only replenishing aquifers, it's a global approach, a holistic approach to other environmental issues. If somebody cuts the trees, there are no trees available, you have less rain, period. And if you increase to a large extent, do tree planting initiatives, and you plant many trees and you reforest, then the temperatures are in a way that you have more rain and the humidity of the air. And here we are cooperating. We have a KfW reforestation program. We had it already, and we are discussing an extension of the reforestation program with your government. I think this is very good. But also here, reforestation is a matter of the individual person. Now, of course, you need grazing grounds for the cattle. And reforestation is then not always accepted by everybody. So one needs to have, and this is very important, on a, society level, a kind of social environmental contract. Everybody must be aware that things get worse if trees are cut, if certain environmental measures are not done, if plastic pollution continues. It's the social environmental contract that everybody is aware. One last word on technologies and cooperation. There is a lot going on in the with private enterprises. So it's not government to government, it is private enterprises. In particular the technology, because some things are good business for everybody. For example, we see here the whole garbage field. I mean, in Germany, there are high temperature incinerators burning the garbage after all those items are sorted out, which can be recycled. The rest is burned, not releasing bad kind of things to the atmosphere, but with a high temperature incineration, and this is good business. Now, I'm told that Germany, we even import garbage to Germany in order to make energy out of it.
Definitely. My second question is really linked to this, that Germany is generating a lot of revenue from garbage, either it's commercial waste or domestic or industrial waste to say. Apart from incineration, what other technologies and what other lessons, what are those in your opinion, and what Pakistan can opt for our keeping in mind our economy and our environment?
You see, there is one thing Germany tried out to reduce CO2 emissions, and in the last 20 years, Germany reduced 27% of the CO2 emissions. Now, many countries say that CO2 emissions is linked to economic growth, meaning, of course, Pakistan needs economic growth. And then some say, well, that's why we have to it's bad to have more CO2 emissions, which is spoiling the environment and the atmosphere. But the example of Germany and other industrialized countries show that you can have economic growth and reduce CO2 emissions. Now, as of now in Pakistan, the rise of CO2 emissions and the rise of economic growth goes hand in hand. But it can be delinked. It can be delinked by technology, by clean energy, by renewable energy. And in Germany, it went down in the last 20 years, 27%, but we sustained our economic growth and even made it better. So the awareness and to use the technologies of course, you must have economic growth. You are a growing population, they need work, more have to be brought to the middle class, they are consuming more, but if they continue to consume in a way the consumption pattern is right now, this is very detrimental. Now, the de-link of the environmental hazards from economic growth and to use the technologies, I think this is important.
Coming to renewable energy, right, like you just mentioned, Germany is really rich, experienced country on solar panels and on renewables. Pakistan is also rich with solar energy but not generating it. So what sort of collaboration Germany and Pakistan can do on this regard, like private to private you just mentioned, but are some companies coming to Pakistan as well for this?
As of now, there's not very much cooperation in the field of solar energy. That's why I would recommend the following. I think Pakistan is a country with really a vibrant kind of, in particular, young population. There are many well-trained people. Yes, most of the young people are not so well-trained, but there are many well-trained people. And your question is very interesting. What kind of cooperation, what can Germany do for solar energy, for example? And I will give this always back to you and say, why can Pakistan do more? Why cannot Pakistan develop a solar energy technology itself with the help of the technical know-how which is around in the world, in America and Turkey and China and with Germany? But do it yourself. You see, I was in Bahawalpur at the Qaid-e-Azam solar energy plant. This is a huge kind of solar energy. I was really thrilled. The first stage was Chinese done, the second stage is Turkish, and people asked, listen, I mean, why don't you bring the new German technology in, because it's much more efficient than the other two stages. And also this I was discussing. I mean, Pakistan is totally in a position to develop their own ideas, and you have proven it so many times, to really go into research, to go into development, cooperate with German companies, but also research companies, and you develop your own solar energy to be independent of German, of Turkish, of Chinese technology. And this is a phenomenon I see everywhere, that we as Germans or other countries also, we are asked, what can you do? Another example is the small hydropower, the small turbines you find in KP and Gilgit-Baltistan, where I ask, where do these small turbines come from? And they say, from China. I say, why? Because they have the highest efficiency rate. I say, why cannot Pakistan? Don't tell me. Pakistan cannot develop, with really putting it on the priority agenda, their own small hydropower turbines and engine of equal standard, and you save your foreign currency for buying something else. Yeah? Now, promotion of research and development in certain environmental technologies with assistance of Germany and other countries. I think this would be the right way to go, and make yourself independent of other states who have this technology. Just do it yourself.
Talking about the priority thing, very much things are related to government level, like you just mentioned as well. So, like we see in Germany, you have a green political party. Keeping in view the poverty status and economic conditions in Pakistan, do you see anything happening at political level in our government, that would Pakistan be able to have such party in future?
Well, it's up to the Pakistanis to decide about the party structure. Yeah? I don't see a green party now, but I see a green agenda of the PTI government. And I have seen it already before. To take care of environment, to take care of population, to address the plastic pollution, to address the pollution system in the air, the atmosphere, to address the garbage problem. There is not an organized solid waste disposal system in a country of 210 million inhabitants. Also here I read the other day that in Karachi, Chinese companies are in charge of solid waste disposal. I ask myself, why Chinese companies? Why, if it's a business, why can't this be done by Pakistani companies? I think, speaking about the Green Party, in Germany, one of the effects was that every other traditional party, be it the socialists or be it the Christian Democrats, so they developed a green agenda. Because all parties realized that the population does not want to continue to destroy the environment. So this is what I mean with a social environmental contract. That's why after the foundation of the Green Party, every other party speedily developed green programs in order to attract their own electorate. Otherwise, this electorate would have wandered to the migrated to the Green Party. Now, I see a very good green agenda here, of the government. The question of reforestation, the tree planting. Now, in February, there will be a big tree planting activity again, initiated by the Prime Minister, the Clean and Green Pakistan. These are all elements. In Katowice the other day, there was the COP24, and your minister was there, and you are now the deputy chairman even in the international field. What is a task of the government? Any government is the awareness that climate change knows no borders. Many countries say America first or Germany first or something like this. There is no Pakistan first or America first or Germany first when it comes to environmental pollution. Because if you go to Lahore, I mean, especially in these days, I was there for 2 weeks ago with my family. I mean, there were, according to the air quality index, I mean, it was really very, very bad. It was above 700. Yeah? So this is really something which has to be addressed. Climate knows no borders, and a green agenda should be on the agenda of every party. And in Germany, the Green Party was the catalyst for traditional parties in order to also develop green ideas in their own party programs.
Oh, very interesting. So you have a program or a campaign in place, Green It. Would you like to tell something about it to our viewers?
Yes, it's still a secret, but I can reveal it. Now, we will do the Green It social media campaign. Along the line, what I sometimes did, you see how to save water, because the other day, or no, a few months ago, I also published a tweet where I washed, on the weekends I have a small foxy, which with truck art or so, which I take care of myself, and I wash it myself. But I wash it with a hose. So our gardeners, one of the gardeners has seen it and said, listen, Ambassador, you cannot do it. You cannot spoil the water on your foxy. Here, just take a bucket. And then I tweeted, it was not my own idea. It was the idea of the gardener who said the water is for the living things, not for the dead things. I like your foxy, but you see, it doesn't deserve that you spoil water on the foxy. Just take a bucket. Now, and this I tweeted, things like this in the Green It campaign, just to make people aware what can we do in our own households, starting from every individual. Awareness is one thing, but awareness is only part of the story. You really have to implement it, you have to do it. You have to wash your car, not with a lot of water with a hose, but with a bucket maybe. Maybe it's not as clean as if you take 300 liters of water for it. But this is the purpose of a Green It campaign. It is not to educate. It is not to teach people what to do. This is up to the Minister of Education, this is up to your government to do it, but to provide some best practices. Pollution, plastic pollution is the other thing. I'm very worried about plastic pollution. Now also in Germany we have plastic bags, but at least we have to pay 20 euro cent for a plastic bag if you want to have one. So that's why I take always my own bag with me. Here, people look at me, you see, if I buy oranges on the market, you see, and they get a plastic bag, I say, I don't want to have a plastic bag. And I bring my own bag with me. Yeah? Now, things like this in the individual sphere, not so much the big political things, but also reforestation, fight against plastic pollution. In the year 2050, we will have more plastic in the seas than fish. And already now there are micro plastics in the sea, and they are in the fish. So the fish we eat, the sea fish, this is already, permeated by small plastic microorganisms. Yeah, this is something. Along this way is Green It. with all the commitment to environment, we also should not lose humor. Maybe some things can be done with cartoons, we will see. We see in particular at schools to make funny stories, how to well, preserve the environment, and not only to point with a finger and describe the end of the world if things are not done. No, in a light way, in a best, just to show best practice, but also maybe in a humorous way to show what can be done.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, for your time, and wish you good luck with your campaign. Create it. Like Mr. Ambassador said, that we need to adopt best practices at individual levels to contribute best to our environment, and secondly, we should educate our children at schools so that our generations about environment and climate change can be educated. We will be coming back with another issue in next program. Until then, bye.